All right, so welcome back, Elaine, to the Zoom room for another live session. A good chat there about attachment, desire, attachment, grievances, so on. So yeah, let's continue that theme with today's teaching. Got an email, it's a quote, and today's lesson. So let's have a look at it. Yeah. So share my screen with you. Okay, so can you see that?
Yeah.
Right, so if you can read the quote for us.
The only way that we can live is if we grow. The only way that we can grow is if we change. The only way that we can change is if we learn. The only way we can learn is if we are exposed. And the only way that we can become exposed is if we throw ourselves out into the open. Do it, throw yourself. The Joybell.
Joybell C, yeah, American author, that's her pen name. Really a call to open yourself up to higher learning. That's only possible when you expose your ego as separate self-concept by bringing it into your conscious awareness, letting go of its fears and inhibitions, and throwing yourself into the open expansiveness of truth. So she talks about a process of the only way we can live is if we grow. So the truth is, when you grow in spiritual terms, you're actually going back to your source. You're just becoming more of your authentic self. But that looks like growth. It looks like you're changing. So the only ways that we can grow is if we change. We need to change our minds from the default egoic thought system. We need to change them back to the Holy Spirit. So actually we're returning home, we're returning to our original self, but in this world, that looks like growth and change. And learning. The only way we change is if we learn. The only way we learn is if we are exposed to lessons. That's what she means. So she's saying, throw yourself into the open so you can learn these lessons. Do it, throw yourself, because through the lessons that you get when you go, okay, I'm not going to fear, I'm going to open myself up to life's experiences to really learn, what the lessons I need to learn. That's the fast track. That's how you learn your lessons. You don't learn your lessons by staying in a very, contracted, narrow, inhibited self. So what she's really asking you to do, she's really asking you to do these two things. Number one, let go of your belief in separation. And number two, open your mind to the pure formless awareness of perfect love. Right? So when you throw yourself, you're saying, okay, I'm willing to let go of my beliefs, my fears that stop me from opening to life itself. When I let go, I open my mind to this essence of life or pure formless awareness of perfect love. And these two steps are both essential to the awakening process, because without the first, the ego remains in charge of your mind and life. You continue to believe in separation. Without the second, you'll have no positive replacement for the ego, which will then feel even more resistance to letting go because it fears losing its self-created identity in what it misperceives to be an abyss or void of non-existence. This is why Yeshua gives us an operating system for our lives. It includes a true self, or in course terminology, Christ, to help us live functionally and effectively in what he calls a happy dream in the course, while forgiving or letting go of our attachments to this world that give our separate self or ego seeming existence in our minds. And through this process, we progressively and systematically restore our minds to the state of pure formless awareness, or what he calls the kingdom of heaven. So really, it's an operating system that involves a true self as an intermediary, a bridge between this world and identifying with yourself as a body and a separate self, and the eternal realm where there is no self at all, where there's just pure awareness, pure formless awareness. We call it perfect love. And so this operating system that he's proposing is called the Holy Trinity in Christianity. But it's unlikely that they ever taught you this in Sunday school, because traditional Christianity doesn't understand the Holy Trinity. It's just a resort to explaining it as a mystery, they call it, that good Christians should just accept on faith rather than actually try to understand. So the mystery of the Holy Trinity. Many theologians have tried to explain it. I've read a few of these explanations, but they miss the mark, because what they're trying to do is to make the Holy Trinity real. And then you have the problem is, well, if God is one, then why do we have three things going on? Why do we have a Father, a Son, and a Holy Spirit then, if God is only the Father and there's only oneness? Well, that seems to be a paradox. One has now become three. So now oneness has been separated into something that's more than one. And theologians try and reconcile this by in various ways, saying, well, it's a mystery, we can't really understand it, or the one is the three and the three is the one. So there's a unity in the three, but the three only exists in the one. In the end, none of that makes any sense. The only explanation is that it's a device for correcting our mind within the illusion of separation. The Holy Trinity is a device, just like letting go is a mechanism that's needed while you think you're in the dream. It's not needed in truth, but in the dream world, it's a useful mechanism. It's a useful way to a way out of the dream, shall we say. So in the same way, the Holy Trinity is not an absolutely true concept, because absolute truth lies at this level of God, the Father, heaven, truth, oneness, being. We call it pure formless awareness of perfect love, or source, or knowledge, life, spirit, reality, the now, essence, been called Brahman in the Hindu tradition, Nirvana in the Buddhist tradition. Yeshua calls it revelation, and also universe, interestingly, in the course. So various names for this infinite, absolute, eternal realm that is completely transcendent of anything else. There is no duality, there's no separation in this. So everything begins and ends in this. This is the Alpha and the Omega. Everything came from, everything will return to. So now, in our separated state, we think that we're a person living in a body, living in a certain place and a time with various events and circumstances and situations, and generally some traumas, maybe some successes thrown in, lots of failures, and various experiences that seem to exist and happen in this physical universe of time and space on this particular planet, where we seem to be localized. And so all of that is our ego's default perception, which the Holy Spirit and the true self, which are the other aspects of the Holy Trinity, are designed to undo. So the Holy Spirit reminds us that really there's only one self. It reminds us of our true self, or Christ nature, also called the Son of God. In some traditions, it's called the soul. Our alternative language is the extension of perfect love. The Buddha, or the awakened one, the Atman, the soul. Those are Eastern terms. And then higher awareness would be a more sort of New Age term. Whatever you want to call it, there is an awareness that we can have while we still seem to be in the world. The idea of the Christ or the true self is this is a true self we can adopt and accept into our minds while we're still living in the world. But it reinterprets the world from the perspective of perfect oneness. So it's connected to this perfect oneness, pure formless awareness of perfect love or oneness, and it takes that as its reference point, and it then just reinterprets all of the things and places, events, circumstances, situations, trauma, successes, failures, and all experiences that you seem to have in time and space from that frame of reference. And when you do that reinterpretation from the frame of reference of perfect oneness, that change in perception, inspired now by the Holy Spirit, which is just a remembrance of perfect love, now actually bringing about a change in your perception. So you've got true perceptions or Christ's vision, which is also called miracles or corrections or forgiveness or letting go, or in modern psychological terms, flow. It's also been called intuition, surrender, acceptance, salvation in the Course, at-one-ment, enlightenment in many traditions, awakening, or grace. All of that, that's the process that comes when we apply the true self and the true self's knowledge of its perfect oneness with its source to any of our perceptions, and we reinterpret those perceptions from this perspective. That changes the perceptions into this, much more enlightened way of looking at them, which is called Christ's vision, the Holy Spirit's perceptions. So the Holy Spirit is actually the arrows. The Holy Spirit is a remembrance of perfect love that facilitates the transformation of our perception, helps us go from being very attached to form and who we think we are in the dream world, and it helps us systematically and progressively correct our perceptions so we identify more and more with our true self, the Christ, the one self that is intimately and eternally connected to true reality. So our Christ self is a derivative of true reality. It's almost like a step down. This is ultimate reality, it's the ultimate power source, and then this gets stepped down into kind of a lower form of energy, so that we can this self can actually perceive the world, and it can change your perception of the world. So the Holy Trinity is really a mechanism for correcting the mind and delivering it back into the state of pure formless awareness of perfect love, and that's its only true function. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's a little recap of the Holy Trinity. We've looked at this before, but always worth looking at it again.
Mm-hmm.
So here we are in the discussion, actually chatting about it. Any further comments or questions or anything you're not clear on related to this Holy Trinity as an operating system for your life?
No, it's clear.
Good. Okay. So here we are in our live session, and the next thing on the agenda is the mind training lesson for today. So there it is. Let's just go into have a look at it. All right, so you read the preliminary idea.
Yeah.
I am not alternative.
I am not a body, I am free, for I am still as God created me. Or I am not a body, I am free, for I am still as perfect love extends me. And shall I do
So any other
193?
thoughts? We've been doing this
Oh.
now for about 4 days. Any other thoughts on the arising on that? I'm not a body, I'm free. I'm still as perfect
Well,
love extends.
it can bring about a bit of a shift, but still not 100%. So it is just breaking away slowly but surely.
When you say it, you feel something stirring.
Oh, yes, I can feel it. But, obviously, if it's something that's really sort of got under my skin, and there's still residue of the ego. So obviously, I'm not practicing it enough.
Well, it's, you practice it until you feel clear and you let go.
Yeah, yeah.
You clear of that.
Perhaps, that's true. I'll maybe give it 2 or 3 attempts and don't bother after that. So really, I do need to repeat it more often.
Yeah, do it in a breath break. So I guide you through the process of letting it go in just a few minutes, and repeat it again. So you do it once and it didn't work, you can do it again. You might wait an hour, do it again. But the sooner you clear that energy, the better. So what are you waiting for? Isn't really anything better to do than to experience happiness now. Just what letting go of that negative energy can do for you. Allow you to experience happiness now. Okay, so I'm not a body, I'm free, stating our true identity. We're not a body, we're free in the spirit, just as pure mind. For I am still, so there's a double meaning in that. It means I remain as perfect love extends me, but I'm also still, I'm quiet. In this place of stillness. Okay. Nice little moment of stillness there. So, then the key idea for today.
All things are lessons God would have me learn. There are lessons in all situations that perfect love helps me learn.
No thoughts on that? That's what he's saying here.
Well, it's very good affirmation. However, you do need to keep repeating it until it sinks in.
Yeah. Which is why we practice. So there are lessons in all situations. Perfect love helps me learn. Whatever the situation is, there's a lesson in it for me. It's a very powerful lesson. Because it's reminding you that no matter what seems to be happening on the level of form, there's a lesson for you. Okay, so then read the original and alternative of the short paragraph, commentary on the key idea.
Yeah. A lesson is a miracle which God offers to me, a place of thoughts I made that hurt me. What I learn of him becomes the way I am set free. And so I choose to learn his lessons and forget my own. Alternatively, a lesson is a correction with pure formless awareness of perfect love, offers me in place of thoughts I made that hurt me. What I learn from it becomes the way I am set free. And so I choose to learn its lessons and forget my own.
Yeah, thoughts on that?
Again, it's practice, discipline. because as many thoughts hurt us over and over again, repetitive, very habitually, but that's because we're not listening to the pure formless awareness of perfect love. We're listening on our own. We forget and we listen to the other.
A lesson is always a correction. So it's a miracle or a correction. That's the lesson. When I change my mind from the ego's thought system to the Holy Spirit's, from fear to love, basically, then that's the lesson I learned. That only love is real. I've just confirmed that by my choice for love, and denied its opposite, fear. Okay, and then the wrapping, so it's like a sandwich. You've got the filler, double-decker sandwich, and then the bread on the other side. I'm not a body.
I am not a body, I am free, for I am still as God created me. Or I am not a body, I am free, for I am still as perfect love extends me.
Yeah, so feelings on that now?
Again, just something you have to practice until it actually sinks in.
Yeah. Practice makes perfect. And, we must keep correcting. The lessons are the corrections. So every situation offers you a lesson, particularly if it's challenging. You're finding it difficult and it's triggered some negative thoughts and emotions, then there's a lesson in it for you. Most certainly.
The hardest ones are the habitual ones, of course, the ones that you constantly hurt yourself with, that are just habit. So they're the ones that you need to practice. Well, and the ones, all of them.
Yeah, every time that habit, you tempt to play out that habit again, you have an opportunity to free yourself. This is the correct, spiritual interpretation of your life. Everything offers you an opportunity for freedom, if you so choose. Okay, so I'm not a body, I'm free. I'm still as perfect love extends me, and there are lessons in all situations of perfect love helps me learn. Very profound, simple but profound ideas that kind of go very well together, I think. If I'm still as God created me, then I can learn, the lessons. All right. So, any other questions or comments on that one?
No, it's very clear. It's very straight to the point.
Yeah. Yeah, and we're about to go, not about, a week's time, we're going to go into part 2 of the workbook. So this is the new sort of format, very short, sweet, to the point. It's a couple of, each lesson is a couple of paragraphs, a key idea, a couple of paragraphs, short paragraphs that have got a commentary, and then there's an insert. He's asking you to read 5 paragraphs of an insert on forgiveness or salvation or one-ment or whatever. There's 10 inserts. So it's shorter, sweeter, to the point. Like, really, it's time to take us into an experience of what he's pointing to now, in the second half. course. You actually start to feel and experience this love of God, the pure formless awareness of perfect love within you, as a felt experience rather than just something you want, something that intellectually you go, yes, I think it's there, but I'm not really experiencing. So the lessons are the pointers into that experience, and they're very short for that reason. You don't need a long pointer to get into that experience. Just a short one will often do. Just the intention of the sutras in ancient India and Tibet and so on. They had these sutras were very short to the point. So a sutra would maybe be this length, one paragraph, a couple of sentences, and it's just a pointer for the mind to access a deeper state of awareness. So it's in that tradition that he's now going to start with these review lessons, kind of preparing us for the second part of the workbook, which is a different format. Okay. So any other thoughts, comments, or questions on this?
No, that's very clear.
Simple, straightforward lesson. All things are lessons God will have me learn, reinterpreted. There are lessons in all situations that perfect love helps me learn, which is very helpful to realize that. Okay, well, if I realize that, then I start asking myself, well, what's the lesson? What's the lesson in the situation? What is there for me to learn here? It's interestingly one of the questions that I suggest you ask at the end of your day, in that end of day reflection. Say, well, what did I learn? Because then you're consciously learning what it is you need to learn. Okay, that makes sense. All good. Okay. So shall we do a meditation on this and close the session with that? That'll take us to about 25 past 9 or something.
Yeah, that's good.
How's that sound? All right?
Yeah, good.
Okay, so let's okay, so let's practice today's lesson, lesson 213, in a 20-minute meditation. Just to close the sessions. So going somewhere where you're not going to be disturbed. Sitting comfortably with your feet shoulder width apart, your back straight. Cup your hands in your lap, close your eyes. And start off by taking a nice deep breath in through the nose, the maximal inhale breath. Clench the sphincter muscle, draw the energy up the spine, into your heart center. Put one hand on your heart. Connect with your heart space. Draw the energy up into the crown of your head, pausing at the top of the inhale. Smile. Maximal inhale breath. Hold the breath briefly, just scan your mind. Just noticing any thoughts. Related body sensations going on, particularly anything that feels at all negative, limiting, contracted, constricting in any way, shape, or form. And just breathe into that. And remind yourself of today's key idea that all things are lessons God would have me learn. Well, there are lessons in all situations, including this one that perfect love helps me learn. And just be willing to let go of your existing perception of the situation that's causing you any kind of distress. So just blow it out, the breeze of your breath, the nothingness that it really is. It's going, gone. All lower stomach into the spine. Expel the last remaining air out. And rest. And stillness and peace. Remind yourself that I'm not a body. Say it firmly aloud to yourself. I am not a body. I am free. Well, I am still as God created me, or perfect love extends me. Breathe in and feel that connection. You are just an extension of this perfect, loving awareness. Your formless awareness of perfect love. So repeat these words after me. Breathe in. Deep inhale breath, maximal inhale breath, pause all the breaths. Say a lesson. Here's a correction. This pure formless awareness of perfect love offers to me in place of thoughts I made that hurt me. When I learn from it comes the way I am set free. And so I choose to learn its lessons and forget my own. All things are lessons. All situations are lessons. Perfect love. I'm not a body. I am free. I'm still. I remain, but I am still in the silence. Silence and the stillness. And you just rest in this deep, tranquil peace. Peace that surpasses all understanding. It's been called in the Bible, peace of God that surpasses all understanding. That is beyond the intellect and reason. It's just an experience. Deep, quiet, tranquil peace that nowhere else to go, nothing else to do, nothing else to think about. And just sink inwards. Each breath going a bit deeper, deeper and deeper and deeper. Each breath in and out through the nose, into more deeply into the state beyond the body, beyond any thoughts come in, seeming to disturb this deep peace. Remind yourself that I'm not a body, I'm free. I'm still as perfect love extends me right now. And this is just a lesson. There is arising a lesson in all situations of perfect love will help me learn. So you just blow it out. Any dark clouds, imagine they're like dark clouds, just obscuring the clear blue sky, which is your true awareness, and the sunlight that shines through the source of your being. Sunlight, sunbeams are the extension of that source. So you are like the extension of the source, just shining through the clear blue sky of your awareness. And anything that obscures that is just like a cloud scudding around closer to the surface of the earth, just seemingly obscuring the blue sky and the sunshine, but not really able to, because they continue irrespective with the cloud is there or not. So you are this clear blue sky, the pure formless awareness of perfect love. And just blow it all out. Let go of any of these clouds. And just give yourself permission to sink inwards. Go deeper and deeper with each breath into this very still, calm, quiet, tranquil state beyond the body, beyond the mind, beyond what you think, feel and touch and taste and perceive lies in the truth, who you really are. There's nothing else to go, there's nothing else to do, nothing else to think about, just breathe, relax, and be still. And just experience the surrendered state, being surrendered to God or the divine. And so just gently coming back to an awareness of the body, the breath, senses, and the world. And on the count of three, you're going to open your eyes. So one, just breathing in, noticing how the stomach rises and the chest rises. Clench the sphincter muscle, the muscle used to contract the flow of urine, squeeze the last drops out, to lock the energy in, feel that. And observe the breath in the body. Maximal inhale, breath, pause at the top of the inhale, scan your mind one more time and just notice any thoughts, emotions, and then related body sensations. Just be aware of all of that. Breathe into it. Remind yourself that I'm not a body, I'm free. Free of all these body conditions, in other words, I'm still as was God or perfect love. So we count to 2. Exhale. And just the weight of your body pressing down into the chair as you do that. There's the air flowing out of your mouth, chest and stomach sucked back in. Energy subsides back down. Front channel of your body coming to rest in the stomach. Growing the weight of your body pressing down into the chair. Your feet touching the ground, noticing what you're feeling. Touching with your hands, maybe there's a subtle taste in your mouth. Notice that, notice what you're hearing in the surrounding environment, but without attachment. There's no attempt to name, judge, label, or interpret anything. So you just pure awareness, allowing these thoughts and sensations to arise and just pass away. And so anchor this nice, calm, connected state in. Should be feeling very peaceful, very happy, very tranquil. You want to set the intention to stay here for the rest of the evening. Stay in this peace. Bring it in, so it is. So it is said, so it is done. And anchor that state in. To help you stay here, just practice the lesson frequently. So if you need to top yourself up, find yourself that I'm not a body, I'm free. I'm still as perfect love extends me, and whatever I'm facing is a lesson that perfect love helps me learn. And the intention to learn it. So it is said, so it is done. On the count of 3, open your eyes. So just take a minute to look around, noticing various objects in the room around you in a very detached way. So just look at anything randomly for a few seconds, close your eyes, notice how you're feeling when you close your eyes, open your eyes, notice the same feeling is really there. Nothing's really changed at all. And do that for, I would say, 3 or 4 objects. Just look at it, any object randomly for a few seconds, notice, close your eyes, notice the same peaceful presence, this awareness is there. Whether you're looking at it or whether your eyes are closed, it's exactly the same. So you're training your mind that this awareness is always there. Because it's your fundamental awareness. It's not really reliant on anything you perceive with the body's eyes or senses. So just do that for another couple of objects. And use this to just anchor the state in. So set yourself into the state of true awareness, pure formless awareness, perfect love, we call it, and go on your way and have a very peaceful, flowing evening, which is what I wish for you. So that brings us to the end of the meditation and the session. So thank you, Elaine.
Okay, thank you.
Enjoy the rest of the evening and hopefully see you tomorrow. So should we do evening session tomorrow?
Yeah,
Evening is better for
that's
me.
better. Yeah, that would be great.
Okay, starting at you generally have dinner at 6, so a bit later, 6:30 or 7.
I know I can do 6. Yeah, I can do 6.
But then you have to break it for dinner. Is that right?
No, well, no, I'll just have my tea beforehand. Yeah, I'll just have my tea
Okay.
before.
Well, it gives us a bit more time. So we can maybe do
Yeah.
some text.
Text. Yeah, that
All
would be
right.
good. That's great.
Okay. See you tomorrow then.
Thanks for an
All right.
interesting session. Thank you.
Yeah.
Namaste.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Namaste.
All right, so that's a wrap for today. Thanks to Elaine for joining. If you like the session, subscribe to the channel. You can also join us in one of these sessions. I'll put details of the link to register for a masterclass below. And you can also get some of what I showed you earlier as a Telegram message sent to you every day. So you can subscribe to that, check below, all the links are there. Join us soon, and I hope to catch you on the inside. Namaste, which means the truth in me, the true self in me, that learns its lessons, acknowledges and honors that same self in you. Peace.